What's going on with you guys? This is Sean coming back at you with the Bitcoin Bros. We're getting straight into it because there's a lot going on in the markets. We want to report to you right away. Current time this recording, Bitcoin's coming in a little below 44,000. We hit 44,000 at the current time. We're at 43.6K. So keep that in mind. Now, we went over this with you before. We've showed you this on the macro. We're looking at this on the daily. We're zoomed out a little bit, not in the weekly, but you get it. So we've showed you this big potential inverse head and shoulders pattern. So right here would be extremely euphoric. We could go back up to previous all-time highs before the halving. Now this is just drawn. This can go up even more vertical. This can go up, by the halving. This could go up if we get an ETF, announcement going into January, which is highly speculative right now. There's a lot that's going on. Now, what could cause this pullback? Historically, when the Fed has lowered interest rates, initially it shocked markets to the downside. We need you to keep that in mind. It shocked markets to the downside. So this is something that could play out. We could see the ETF pass cause a euphoria in the market right here. Boom. And we hit new all-time highs right around the halving or before or after. But in the first half of next year, that could happen for Bitcoin. So let's just get that out the way. Now, people are like, well, that's never happened before in the last halving cycles. The cycles are different now. If you didn't pay attention to last cycle, everybody thought it was over with right here. No one thought $69,000 was coming. I remember when this cycle happened, people thought like, oh, it's over with. We didn't hit 100,000. Then when this happened, it psyched everybody out. This was a huge ABC, running flat correction, and it caught everybody off guard. The market's not going to always do what you always wanted to do based off of your own bag. So keep that in mind. We hope you're prepared if this happens. So this could have a run up from an ETF approval to the previous all-time highs, potentially hit 70K, 75, and make a new all-time high as a spike. And then simultaneously, we could see that first rate cut, which would shock the markets and have Bitcoin pull back down like so. How low we go? We come back down and retest this 44 range where we're at right now. That could be what's in the cards. But if you zoom out on the market and you see what's going on in the bigger time frame, we showed you this. This is an inverse head and shoulders pattern that could be playing out. And the massive, massive price prediction that this could go all the way up to is north of 250,000, close to 300,000. So that could be what's in the cards for Bitcoin. Well, the previous halving cycles and, the multiples, that doesn't match up with what Bitcoins did. It doesn't matter. Like, throw the other cycles away. Those were strictly retail driven. Once the floodgates get open for the big boys, then you don't know what to expect. Now, this is not guaranteed what's going to play out like this. This is just what Sean from the Bitcoin Bros is telling you. So with this, look at the bottom of this, the stochastic is oversold. So it looks like it's reset. So could Bitcoin be getting ready for another leg up? Could this be some type of flag pattern? Could we see this another leg up? We come up here. If we pull this up for the technical target, where are we looking up to? The $48,000 threshold. Now, one thing to keep in mind, are we just going to keep stair-stepping our way up? Because Bitcoin could just continue just to do what it's been doing. Come, trade sideways, spike up, trade sideways, spike up, trade sideways, spike up. Now, people going off of previous cycles, which the Bitcoin Bros have reported this to you as well, looking back at what every cycles did, the technical target is the previous high of this initial pullback from the previous all-time high. So that $48,000 threshold could be the quote-unquote mid-cycle peak. Now, will that happen? Will it not happen? Time will tell. Is this time different? Well, with the ETFs, yes, this time is different. With global adoption, yes, this time is different. So does that mean the price action will react differently? Potentially. Nobody truly knows. Everybody can speculate. This is the Bitcoin price chart. Total 3 altcoin market is looking pretty bullish. This is on the 5-day. And as you see here, we still have a lot of space to get back up to this 200 moving average. We could get up to $517 billion before we get a cool off, and we maybe just trade sideways, maybe a little bit downwards price action going into the halving, potentially. But then the alts will eventually rip. This is on the 5-day once again. Where could this go ultimately through this cycle? We've showed you this. There's still a lot of room to move to the upside. We are still early. Depending on when we hit this upper bound, this upper peak, you're talking about a 400% move. That's being conservative. So $1 turns to 5 across the board in alts. You will have some that outperform this. Now keep in mind, there's one thing that doesn't have to stop here. We could have a breakout. This is just based off the 2 previous peaks. But that 1.618, you see where the 2.618 from the fib extension levels are. You know, we're probably going to be somewhere in this red box range, most definitely. And you have to look at the previous peaks. You know, that's the trend. The trend's your friend till the end. So pay attention. Bitcoin's dominance. What do we see? What do we anticipate? Well, look at this. It's on the 5-day as well. The stochastic, once again, is oversold. So what happens when it gets oversold? Look at the last time it was oversold like this and it went to the upside, we went from 49 all the way up to 54. Before that, look at right here. We actually didn't even come back and bottom out until we ultimately peaked up to this up here around 48, but we started way down to 40. So this is looking like the Bitcoin dominance could be getting ready to ramp up with a spot ETF. So how does this dominance work? Is the dominance always going to just keep stair-stepping its way up? It could potentially do that. Eventually, it's going to break this line. Altcoins will be coming up with it as well, but as the dominance continues to increase, the alts are going to be more sparingly the ones that blast off. But once Bitcoin breaks this trend line, you know, if and when, eventually it will, because the rest of the market is always going to catch up, then that's when you want to sort of get into alts. Bitcoin, you know, came down and retested this trend line quite a few times, but the trend's your friend until the end. Now, one thing you want to take a look at is the gold spot ETF. When it was approved, what gold did. You got to look here. This was approved way back in the early 2000s. And when it happened, how high did this price go? It went up 500%, 489 to be exact. But if we zoom into the actual price action, how many pullbacks do we really see? So look at here. Like we see, let's get out our measuring tool. So we see when we first had it, we had an initial pullback of about 17.5%. Not anything too crazy. And then we come up and put in a new high and then have another pullback of about 13%. Then we come up, trade sideways, blast up, major high here, and then a major pullback, 25% pullback, trade sideways, base out, and then from this peak to this pullback here, you know, we had a 33% pullback, and just keep looking forward. We're looking for big pullbacks. This is a micro pullback here. If we look at it, I mean, we can label it, but you know, it's probably like, you know, about that's a 15% pullback. So all these pullbacks are going to continue to happen, as you see here. But this is all throughout a bull run for gold. So Bitcoin will have 15, 25% pullbacks as we blast up to make new all-time highs. But will Bitcoin just continue to stair-step its way to the upside? Now, the big question is, what's the Bitcoin price going to be when the spot ETF gets approved? Will it be 50,000? Will it be 60? Will it be 40? Will it be 35? Nobody really knows. There's a lot of speculation from now until January 10th. We might see that spot ETF. Nobody has a crystal ball. Let's just say 50K. Let's meet in the middle somewhere. Not 60, not 40. Let's say 50K. So let's go up to 50. And if we pull this thing up 500%. Now 500% to the upside. Let's see where that takes Bitcoin up to. That'll take Bitcoin up to roughly a $300,000 price target. Now, how fast could this occur? This coincidentally is that technical target from that inverse head and shoulders we showed you earlier this video. So Is this what's about to happen? Is that how Bitcoin's going to mimic gold? Gold didn't do that within, a couple years. It took gold roughly about, that was from 2003 all the way to 2011. It took gold 8 years to do that. Bitcoin moves a lot faster than gold. Fastest horse in the race. You guys know this. So this is what we could see for Bitcoin. We went over everything with you guys. If you agree with this, please comment below and let us know your thoughts. Is this what's going to happen? We're going to see a wick up to a new all-time high once the ETF passes. Could the rate hikes cause us to come back down and form that inverse head and shoulders to ultimately have that bounce and run up to that $300,000 target? Is that what's in the cards? Let us know what you think. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.